All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Tamilnadu and Kerala today to launch several key projects. Centre issues guidelines on preventive measures to contain spread of COVID-19 in offices. Haryana government to bring law for recovery of damages to public property from protesters. US Senate acquits former President Donald Trump for second impeachment trial. Myanmar's military junta suspends laws constraining security forces from detaining suspects or searching private property. And in cricket, India to resume their first innings at overnight score of 300 for 6 against England in Chennai Test. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Tamil Nadu and Kerala today. At around 11:15 a.m., the Prime Minister will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones for several key projects and hand over the Arjun main battle tank Mk1A to the Army at Chennai. At around 3:30 p.m., Mr. Modi will lay the foundation stone and dedicate various projects to the nation at Cochin. These projects will add a crucial momentum to the growth trajectory of these states and help hasten the pace of realizing full development potential. Details from our Chennai correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Phase 1 extension of the Chennai Metro Rail, the 4th railway line between Chennai Beach and Attipattu, the railway electrification of a single line section in Viluppuram, Kadalur, Mayiladuthurai and Tiruvallur. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone for the extension, renovation and modernization of the Grand Anikket Canal system. Kallanai or the Grand Anikket is an ancient dam built on the Kaveri River flowing from Tiruchi to Tanjavur district, irrigating the rice basin of Tamil Nadu. Chola King Karikalan began the construction in 100 BC. The construction went on for almost 200 years. The dam was remodeled by the British during the 19th century. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone for the Discovery campus of IIT Madras. The Prime Minister will also hand over the MBT Arjun Mk1A tank to the Army. Joy, AR News, Chennai.
In Kerala, Mr. Modi will lay the foundation stone of reconstruction of South Coal berths at Cochin port with an estimated cost of 19.19 crore rupees under the Sagar scheme. We have a report from our Kerala correspondent.
The Prime Minister will dedicate to the nation the propylene derivative petrochemical project of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. He will also dedicate to the nation the Ro-Ro vessels at Wellington Islands in Kochi. The Prime Minister will inaugurate India's first full-fledged international cruise terminal, Sagarika at Cochin port. He will also inaugurate the Marine Engineering Training Institute of Cochin Shipyard Limited. Apart from this, the Prime Minister will lay foundation stone of the reconstruction of South Coal berth at Cochin port. Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and Ministers of State Mansukh Mandavia and V. Muralidharan are among the dignitaries attending the event. Anila Balakrishnan, AR News, Kochi.
The government has said that more than 80,52,000 beneficiaries have been vaccinated for COVID-19 till date across the country. Addressing media in New Delhi, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dr. Maha Dbt said the second dose of COVID-19 vaccination started from yesterday for beneficiaries who have completed 28 days after the receipt of first dose. He said 7,668 healthcare workers have been vaccinated in the second phase so far.
The second dose beneficiaries are 7,668. The vaccinations to the frontline workers till date are 21,17,179.
Dr. Bhandari said more than 59 lakh healthcare workers and over 21 lakh frontline workers have been vaccinated till date. The Health Ministry said a total of 34 persons have been hospitalized after being administered the COVID-19 vaccine so far. This comprises 0.0004% of the total vaccinations. Of the 34 cases of hospitalization, 21 were discharged after treatment, while 11 persons died and 2 are under treatment.
The centre has issued Standard Operating Procedure SOP on preventive measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 in offices. In the SOP, Union Health Ministries has said that offices in containment zones shall remain closed except for medical and essential services, and only those outside containment zones will be allowed to open up. It said that generic preventive measures include simple public health measures that are to be followed to reduce the risk of infection with COVID-19. The ministry added that these measures need to be observed by all employees and visitors at all times. These include maintaining a minimum distance of 6 feet in common places, use of face covers or masks at all times, and practicing frequent hand washing. With regard to specific preventive measures for offices, the Health Ministry said that mandatory hand hygiene and thermal screening should be ensured at entrance, and only asymptomatic staff and visitors should be allowed entry. A total of 126 fresh cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of affected people in the city to over 6,36,000. Delhi government has said that over 6,24,000 people have recovered from the infection so far. In the last 24 hours, 138 people have been recovered and no new fatalities have been recorded. Presently, the total number of active cases in Delhi is 1,041.
In Uttar Pradesh, the COVID-19 infection is sharply declining. The number of new corona cases has come down below 100 per day. State government has ordered opening of educational and other institutions in a phased manner. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Additional Chief Secretary Information Navneet Sagar told yesterday that during the last 24 hours, only 93 new cases of COVID-19 were detected and 221 patients were cured and discharged in the state. Presently, there are 3,098 active cases of corona. The recovery rate has increased above 98%. So far, 5,90,292 people have recovered and discharged from COVID-19. The work of sample testing is continuously going on, and 1,37,000 samples were tested in one day yesterday, and as of now more than 2 crore 94 lakh samples have been tested. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has instructed to speed up vaccination to the frontline workers and asked that timely estimation of place and time be given to the vaccine beneficiaries. MS Yadav, YIA News, Lucknow.
In Bihar, 4,89,449 healthcare and frontline workers have been vaccinated so far. No side effect of the vaccine has been reported from any part of the state. As per the data released by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, 80.06% of the targeted healthcare beneficiaries have been administered the first dose in Bihar till date. The state government will start administering the second dose of COVID-19 vaccines to the healthcare workers from tomorrow. Meanwhile, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 99.17% in Bihar.
In Gujarat, nearly 17,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated at 630 vaccination centers yesterday. More than 7,84,000 people have been vaccinated in the state so far. Meanwhile, no new COVID-19 fatality was reported in the state yesterday. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
A total of 279 fresh cases of COVID-19 reported in the state yesterday. At the same time, as many as 283 patients were discharged from various hospitals yesterday. The state's recovery rate has now improved to 97.67%. State Health Department said at present there are around 1,763 active cases of COVID-19 in the state. The COVID-19 fatality rate in the state has dropped down to 0.46% in this year. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Gujarat, schools for class 6 to 8 will reopen from the 18th of this month. State Education Department issued an order yesterday in this regard. Secretary to Education Department Dr. Vinod Rao said the decision has been taken in the interest of students, but schools will have to strictly follow guidelines issued by the government. He added that attendance in the offline education will be voluntary and educational institutions will have to get the prescribed consent form from the parents. The present system of online classes will continue for the students who do not join the offline classes. Mr. Rao said instructions have been given to all the district education officers as well as primary education officers to ensure that the schools comply with the SOP.
IRCTC-run Mumbai Central Ahmedabad Tejas Express will resume its services from today. IRCTC had cancelled all trips of this train from 24th of November in view of coronavirus pandemic. Train number 82901 Mumbai Central Ahmedabad Tejas Express will depart Mumbai Central at 15:50 hours to reach Ahmedabad at 22:05 hours the same day. Similarly, train number 82902 Ahmedabad Mumbai Central Tejas Express will leave Ahmedabad at 6:40 hours to arrive Mumbai Central at 13:05 hours the same day. These services will run on Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday with effect from today. Odisha crossed 4 lakh mark in COVID-19 vaccination yesterday. More than 12,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated yesterday in 175 session sites across the state. More from our Odisha correspondent.
With 76.7% vaccination as on date, Odisha comes fourth after Lakshadweep, Bihar and Tripura in terms of crossing 70% vaccination among 12 states and union territories. The state has a total of about 5,40,000 healthcare and frontline workers as targeted beneficiaries of the ongoing priority phase of vaccination drive. Meanwhile, the state prepares to administer the second source of vaccines to all the healthcare workers who have already taken the initial jabs from tomorrow onward. Girish Chandra Das, EIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. V.K. Paul, Chairman, National Task Force on COVID-19 Vaccination, and Dr. Neerja Bhatla, Professor Gynecology, AIIMS, New Delhi, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 0112331444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Tamilnadu and Kerala today to launch several key projects. Centre issues guidelines on preventive measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 in offices. Haryana government to bring law for recovery of damages to public property from protesters. US Senate acquits former President Donald Trump for second impeachment trial. Myanmar's military junta suspends laws constraining security forces from detaining suspects or searching private property. And in cricket, India to resume their first innings at overnight score of 300 for 6 against England in the Chennai Test. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the morning news. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has said that his government will bring a law under which protesters will have to pay the damages caused to public property during an agitation. Referring to the Supreme Court verdict, Mr. Khattar said, nobody has the right to vandalize public property. Haryana Chief Minister met Union Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday and discussed the farmers' protest among other issues. Mr. Khattar said the state government has been planning to bring this law even before the farmers' movement started. The BJP-ruled Uttar Pradesh was the first state to bring the law to recover compensation from those who damage public and private property during protests and riots. Claims for compensation will be decided by designated claims tribunals that will be authorized to investigate complaints and assess the damage. In Uttarakhand, the rescue operation in the NTPC tunnel at Tapovan in Chamoli district continued throughout last night. 25 to 35 people are feared trapped in the tunnel. Rescuers have managed to recover 2 bodies from the tunnel this morning. Till date, 39 bodies have been recovered and around 165 people are still missing. Our correspondent has filed this report from the rescue site.
After almost 7 days of continuous search operation, the rescue teams have recovered 2 bodies from inside the main tunnel. Mucking from this main tunnel is going on continuously, and rescue teams have reached till 136 meters in this tunnel, which is said to be 180 meters long. Vertical drilling with new and more powerful drilling machine also continued whole night to expand the diameter of the hole, which leads to another tunnel. Agencies are hoping that this second tunnel can give an idea about the trapped people. Rescue work has also started on barrage area over the tunnel, where maximum number of workers was working at the time when the flash flood came. Meanwhile, an SDRF team has reached the lake that has formed upstream of Rani village near Tapovan, and the situation there is normal. A manual early warning system has also been established from Tapovan to Pang village to alert in case of a sudden water rise in the Holy Ganga river. These teams have been deputed at certain distance and are equipped with binocular and satellite phones. With Raghavesh Pandey in Dehradun, Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Rani village, Tapovan, Chamoli.
Parliament has passed the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Amendment Bill 2021. The Lok Sabha gave the nod to the bill, which seeks to merge the J&K cadre with the AGMUT cadre for all India services. The bill had already been passed by the Rajya Sabha. Responding to the discussion on the bill, Home Minister Amit Shah said government wants to make Jammu and Kashmir self-reliant and emphasized that development will reach even the remotest areas.
हमारे विरोधी भी आरोप नहीं कर सकते कि चुनाव में घपला हुआ, इस चुनाव में अशांति हुई, इस चुनाव में अफसर का उपयोग किया गया। सबने भय रहित होकर शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से मतदान किया है। 51% मतदान पंचायत के चुनाव में हुआ है और जिन्होंने धारा 370 वापिस लाने के आधार पर चुनाव लड़ा था वो साफ हो गए।
Mr. Shah said many of the J&K residents who did not receive electricity in the past 70 years got it in the past 7 months. The Home Minister said the opposition is asking what the NDA government has done for Jammu and Kashmir since 2019. Rather, they should answer what they have done for Jammu and Kashmir in the last 70 years. He said abrogation of Article 370 was for the benefit of the nation.
कश्मीर की स्थिति को हम समझे, राजनीति करने के लिए ऐसा कोई बयान न दे जिससे जनता गुमराह हो जाए। यहाँ कहा गया कि धारा 370 हटाने के वक्त जो वादे किए गए थे उसकी दिशा में क्या किया। मैं तो जरूर इसका जवाब दूंगा। 17 महीने हुए धारा 370 हटे हुए, आप हमसे हिसाब मांग रहे हो। 70 साल आपने क्या करा, इसका हिसाब लेकर आए हो क्या? और अगर 70 साल ढंग से चलाते तो हमसे हिसाब मांगने का समय ही ना आता।
Government has announced the Jal Jeevan Mission Urban in the Union Budget 2021-22 on the lines of Jal Jeevan Mission Rural. In her budget speech, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said it will be implemented over 5 years with an outlay of 2,87,000 crore rupees.
Universal coverage of water supply. The World Health Organization has repeatedly stressed the importance of clean water, sanitation and clean environment as a prerequisite to achieving universal health. The Jal Jeevan Mission Urban will be launched. It aims at universal water supply in all 4,378 urban local bodies with 2.86 crores household tap connections as well as liquid waste management in 500 Amrit cities. It will be implemented over 5 years with an outlay of 2,87,000 crores.
The government has set aside 50,000 crore rupees for drinking water and 10,000 crore rupees for sanitation. Our correspondent reports that the budget has been increased to provide tap water connection to the houses of the villages, the poor and the farmers.
The government has taken this important step to provide pure drinking water in villages as well as cities. The budget allocation for Jal Jeevan Mission has increased by 450% this year. The total budget of the ministry has also increased by about 180%, which shows the priority and seriousness of the government on the issue of water. The work to provide tap water connections to over 19 crore rural households under the Jal Jeevan Mission by 2024 was going on at a rapid pace. 6 crore 56 lakh households had already been provided tap connections across the country. Goa and Telangana have now access to 10% portable tap water in the rural households. Saubhagyakar, AIR News, Delhi.
The Union Government has said that more than 91 lakh paddy farmers have been benefited from the current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with minimum support price value of over 1,20,000 crore rupees. The Agriculture Ministry said the government continues to procure kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. The ministry said more than 638 lakh tons of paddy have been procured by various states. In Maharashtra, an online application launched recently for the first time through the Maha Dbt Portal, which provides benefits of various schemes of the Department of Agriculture on a single application made by farmers. Minister of Agriculture Dadaji Bhuse informed that 2 lakh farmers in the state have been selected through this application in a transparent manner. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Maha Dbt Portal is an initiative taken by the government of Maharashtra, which is a unique platform for farmers to help them to avail benefits of various schemes. Farmers can register and submit their application form online from anywhere, anytime. They can also view and track the status of their own application in the system. Applicant farmers will receive SMS and email alerts at various stages of the application process. Farmers in the state responded positively to this newly developed system. Over 11 lakh farmers have registered on this system and registered demand under various schemes. According to the economic targets of each scheme, 2 lakh farmers in the state have been selected through online draw. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Andhra Pradesh, 14 people lost their lives in a road accident in Kurnool district early this morning. Another 2 have been seriously injured. A lorry collided with a minibus on the national highway near Madhapuram in Vellurthi Mandal. The incident took place while the bus was travelling from Madanapalle in Chittoor district to Ajmer Dargah. The injured have been rushed to a nearby hospital. The dead included 8 women, 5 men and a child. The minibus was carrying 18 passengers. The 11th Rashtriya Sanskriti Mahotsav is being held between 14 to 28 February at Coach Bihar, Darjeeling and Murshidabad in West Bengal. The inaugural program is going to take place this evening at Coach Bihar. Governor Jagdeep Dhankar and Union Minister of State for Culture and Tourism, Prahlad Singh Patel, will be present in the inauguration. More from our Kolkata correspondent.
All arrangements are in place for hosting the Rashtriya Sanskriti Mahotsav at Coach Bihar Palace. This year, the Mahotsav assumes more significance as the nation emerges from the COVID pandemic situation, which has severely impacted the cultural sector. Through this event, the ministry endeavors to provide the much-needed support and assistance to the artists, along with the confidence that the cultural functions can now be organized, taking into account all necessary precautions. The myriad shades of Indian culture will be showcased through folk music, dance, live band performance and handicraft exhibition. Renowned singer Kailash Kher, famous names in Bengal like Bikram Ghosh, Shourendra and Shomojit and folk band Dohar will be performing in the 3-day event. The Coach Bihar Palace has been beautifully decorated to host the flagship program of the Union Ministry of Culture that has been instrumental in showcasing the culture of one state in other states, reinforcing the cherished goal of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. With Shubhendu Bhattacharya from Coach Bihar, this is Madhuparna Chaudhary for AIR News, Kolkata.
The RSM will be held from 22nd to 24th February at Darjeeling and between 26th to 28th February in Murshidabad district of West Bengal.
The U.S. Senate has acquitted former President Donald Trump for a second time, blocking the Democrats' attempt to punish him for the storming of the Capitol by his supporters. After a week of the impeachment trial, only 57 senators, including 7 Republicans, voted to convict him last night. The 57-43 tally fell 10 votes short of the 2/3 majority needed to convict him and to allow the Senate to move to disqualify him for holding future office. Mr. Trump welcomed his second impeachment acquittal and said his movement has only just begun. In Myanmar, the military junta has suspended laws constraining security forces from detaining suspects or searching private property without court approval. Military junta also ordered the arrest of well-known backers of mass protests against this month's coup. A series of announcements came on the 8th day of countrywide demonstrations against the February 1st coup and detention of the elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Military ruler General Min Aung Hlaing signed an order yesterday suspending 3 sections of laws for protecting the privacy and security of the citizens, which had been introduced during the gradual liberalization.
In cricket, India will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 300 for 6 against England on day 2 of the second test in Chennai. Rishabh Pant was batting on 33 and Akshar Patel on 5 when stumps were drawn yesterday. While Rohit Sharma scored a superb innings of 161 runs, Ajinkya Rahane also contributed 67 runs. For England, Moeen Ali and Jack Leach scalped 2 wickets each, while Ollie Stone and Joe Root took 1 each. Moeen Ali yesterday became the first spinner to dismiss India's skipper Virat Kohli for a duck in Test cricket. Moeen Ali bowled a stunning delivery and it turned to rattle the stumps of Virat Kohli for a duck. This is the 11th time that Kohli has been dismissed for a duck in Tests. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to bat first. England lead the 4-match series 1-0.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. Jammu will mainly witness clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The minimum temperature in the city was 11 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 22 degrees. In Srinagar, the sky will be mainly clear. Minimum temperature in city will be 0 degrees Celsius, while it is expected to rise up to around 10 degrees Celsius. Leh will see mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was minus 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 6 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between minus 2 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have generally clear sky. The temperature will vary from 6 to 21 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will have partly cloudy sky towards afternoon or evening. The city will witness temperature rising from 10 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees. Chandigarh will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature is likely to hover between 11 and 24 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is expected to have mainly clear sky with temperature varying between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will fluctuate between 21 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata witnesses fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius, while maximum may go up to 30 degrees. Hyderabad witnessed the minimum temperature around 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. The city has fog in the morning and will have partly cloudy sky later. In Ahmedabad, the minimum temperature was around 17 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 34 degrees. In Patna, the temperature will move between 12 and 27 degrees Celsius with mainly clear sky. And in Guwahati, the minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 30 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Almost all the dailies have quoted the Home Minister saying Jammu and Kashmir to get statehood at right time. The Tribune adds that 6,000 Kashmiri Pandits would be resettled in the valley by 2022. Refusing to re-examine its Shaheen Bagh verdict, the Supreme Court holds that right to protest can't be anytime, anywhere, observes the Times of India. Strongly countering charge of crony capitalism, the Finance Minister backs outlays for health and defence, writes the Hindu. While the Indian Express quotes are saying, bending COVID curve budget will help sustain revival. The Sunday Pioneer reports 10% of global road crash victims in India, causing 3.14% GDP loss every year, impacting income of poor households. 2 years after Pulwama, Interpol issues notices against Masood Azhar and 3 of his relatives, says Hindustan Times. The paper also mentions disengagement at Pangong Tso set to conclude by Friday, proceeding as per the agreed schedule. And finally, radio remains a powerful broadcaster in COVID age, mentions the Statesman.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Tamilnadu and Kerala today to launch several key projects. Centre issues guidelines on preventive measures to contain spread of COVID-19 in offices. Haryana government to bring law for recovery of damages to public property from protesters. US Senate acquits former President Donald Trump for second impeachment trial. Myanmar's military junta suspends laws constraining security forces from detaining suspects or searching private property. And in cricket, India to resume their first innings at overnight score of 300 for 6 against England in Chennai Test. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.